with the Urban Coalition of Freelance Writers, and today is September 24th, right? And we're standing here with Gabrielle Patterson, and she's going to share with us, her talent. She does spoken word, and you're getting ready to come out with a new project. Am I correct?
Yes.
And when will that be out?
Okay. It will be out Classic Weekend, which is October 5th.
So are you excited about this?
Yes, I'm extremely excited. This has been long awaited.
Long awaited. So I've had the pleasure to, hear her perform at, different venues and stuff like that. And I'm telling you, like, when I say talent, this is like raw talent. She keeps it real for you. And, the thing I like about it is, I've noticed that a lot of your things have to do with, self-respect, responsibility, community, and stuff like that. So tell us, like, in general, what message are you trying to convey, and what audience are you trying to target, or is it for certain people? Is it for the urban community? Is it for everyone? I mean, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I don't think that I have a particular message. My message isn't directed at any one sector of people. I believe that my message is I think that everybody can relate to something that I'm talking about in my poetry. So whether I'm speaking to a group of kids at Outspoken, which is a youth group here in Indianapolis, or I am speaking at the Indiana Historical Society, where I've done poetry as well. I think that my target audience is everyone. I write for myself first, and then I try to hand that gift of whatever it is that I have to say to an audience and hope that they find something to take home from it.
Okay, so how long have you done this? And like in comparison, would you compare this to like a similar style to like what you would see on shows like Russell Simmons, poetry jam and stuff like that? Would you compare your work to that? And how did you get your start? And what inspires you? Are these like is this poetry that's based off of personal experiences or like personal observations and things like that?
Well, all of my poetry is based off of personal experience. I write about the things that I see other people do. I write about the things that I do, and I write about questions that ponder in my mind. How I got my start is actually, there used to be a place here in Indianapolis that everybody went to, and you weren't a hot poet if you didn't go. And I went for the very first time, and I thought to myself, I just went as a spectator, and I thought, I can do that. I can do it, because I've always been a writer. I've always been a writer since I was about 7 years old. And my grandfather used to tell me that it was my gift, that my calling would be to write. So I started going back and forth to this spot, and I got up the courage, and I wrote my poetry for the very first time, and the audience loved it, and it was probably that got me hooked.
So, I mean, do you deal with a lot of controversial topics? So I noticed that, what I really like about your style is that you are straightforward. You don't sugarcoat it, and it's about real people, about real issues and things like that. So is that a part of your style that you have adopted, or is it like a different? You have a different style for different, audiences and stuff like that?
Well, again, I write from personal experience, so I don't really I don't sit down with a pad and pen with the intention to write something that I think will be pleasing to other people.
Right.
I write things that I ponder in my own mind, and then I kind of choose which ones I'm going to share, and if I think that an audience can relate to what it is that I'm saying, then I might choose a particular poem. But please believe, I have plenty of poetry that nobody's ever heard that is just for me,
So, tell us a little bit about your background, like, were you born and raised here in Indianapolis, and like, did you go to college, or like, give us a little information about you, so people can get to know you, a little bit more. It can relate to, put your life in perspective so they can kind of understand more about what you're trying to do.
Okay. Well, I was for the most part, born in Indianapolis. I've always been here. I have military parents, so we kind of moved around a lot. I am. I went to college at IUPUI, and I went to high school at Northwest, and
All right.
I've been here. I've been here all my life, and it wasn't until recently. I've only been doing poetry for about the last 5 years,
Wow.
but poetry changed my life, and it inspired me
Right.
to want to make a change in the community here in Indianapolis. I want more people to know about spoken word. I want them to know about what it is and become involved in what it is that we're doing. You know, Barack Obama isn't the only one trying to make a change.
That's what I was going to ask you. So we're going to get to that in a little bit, but I was going to ask you, like, do you see the market here for that? I mean, is it growing over time since you've started doing that? Like,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
because, you know, we think about it, most of the time you think it's like the East Coast or like, you know, major metropolitan cities and stuff like that. So you have seen it grown in the past, you know, 5 years.
Absolutely. Indianapolis has some incredible talent here. There is a lot of talent here that is untapped. And so the reality is that myself and other poets in Indianapolis are just trying to bring it to the forefront. When I first started doing poetry here in Indianapolis, there was one spot. I could probably tell you of at least 6 now, and that's amazing. So that shows that we're growing and that we're not going anywhere.
So what advice would you give to young poets, young artists, and like how would you, if they want to take this on, or just a writing career in general, what would you suggest them do to get a good start, to, you know, kind of boost them in the right direction?
You know, it's interesting that you say that, because I've had a lot of people ask me about, you know, they'll say, I love your poetry, but I can't do that. And the reality is, if you can write in your diary, you can write a poem. If you can express your feelings through words, you can express them on paper. And at the end of the day, what poetry is your thoughts and your words put into prose. And it is not for me or anybody else to decide what your prose is. So I would suggest that you start out and just write what it is that you feel. And then if you want to start rhyming and using metaphors and those types of things later on, you can go ahead and incorporate that into your writing, but begin with self and begin with writing about how you feel. Also visit other poetry spots. Come to the poetry spots. We'd love to have you.
Can you give us a few, here in the city of Indianapolis, like for those who are interested, like you want them off the top of your head?
Yes, right on the poetry spot is on 34th and Clifton, and it is every Friday night. Please come to Midtown Arts. It's on Sunday nights at 38th and Central, next to Domino's. Every third Friday is the Cipher, and that is in Broad Ripple, and it is at the Starbucks in Broad Ripple every third Friday. And those are just some of the really nice poetry spots that we have here in Indianapolis that I'm sure that people will enjoy themselves and learn a lot more about spoken word and what it is.
Okay, we got a few more questions. As far as community involvement, because I know I consider you as an activist as well. How important is it for us to, especially in this upcoming political season, how important is it for us to get involved, and how important is it for us as an African American community and as a community as a whole to get out here and, vote, be in the political scene? Like, how important do you think that is, and how important do you think it is for us to take responsibility over our lives and our communities?
Well, see, what we've done, what I do for a living as a poet is I share my gift. God gives us gifts, not for us to keep for ourselves, but to share with the world. And the responsibility, each person is responsible for his brother. And I feel like I am responsible for the people that have watched me, that have followed me, that have grown with me, to send a message. And no matter who you're voting for, whether it's Obama or McCain, or, if you have the right to vote, use the right that you have. And a lot of times we as a community, we don't vote. We don't vote. So it's really important that we get out there and we vote now, and then we make a difference. We have a chance to make a difference, and we need to do that. Not just in voting, but in our lives. I try to do that with my poetry as other people try to do it in their art. So,
Okay, so do you have a website where people can visit, or do you have, like, for people who are interested in maybe contacting you, or maybe getting? Because I know you have you said you have this project coming out. Is there like any more information or any place they can go?
please come to visit me at www.myspace.ilovegabby70.com. And that is where my new album will be posted, as will my pictures and clips, excerpts from my poems that you can kind of sample. And we're going to put a PayPal on there so you can call, and if you want to get an album, you can feel free to hit me up.
Well, we're gonna wrap this up because I'm gonna tell you, man. I mainly heard her at the 10, and I'm telling you, if you haven't heard her, I mean, this is a beast right here. Because I'm gonna tell you, she has the crowd going, because when it's real and it hits at home and it's relatable, people have tendency to support you more, and I can tell that it really touches home and it touches base with a lot of people, and I appreciate you for that. So do you mind giving us a little snippet, or give us a little something before we cut out, or a little something,
Little snippet of something.
or whatever you want to feel moved to do?
Okay. Little snippet of something.
Just to give them a taste, because we don't want to, we want them to come to the site.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want to put everything out there, but we just want them to get a taste of what you have to offer.
Okay. Ponytails and bobby socks used to be cute. So was letting little boys chase you and catch you. Your mama said it made you fast. Didn't cast the right light. He's supposed to chase you. He's the hunter, baby. And maybe I didn't understand at the time, because I was fine with playing house and you gotta be the daddy, thinking he was just like me, because anatomically Ken looked just like Barbie below the waist. So I made haste in letting him taste my cupcakes, courtesy of Easy Bake, cooked by a light bulb that hadn't switched on for me yet. Playing house with my strawberry cupcake table set. I was carefree, and it was cute. Now cute is a substitute for juicy couture and fast cash. Dresses that stop below the cheeks of your stilettos that make your nose bleed, and the seeds of knowledge replaced by video ideology. My apologies to the dressmakers of the 60s, fist to the sky and dashikis, black pride. I apologize to those who tried to make hot pants define the 70s, and for the cut-up tattered lace of the 80s that proclaimed to be like a virgin. The 80s, where I was touched for the very first time by BET, created just for me, supposedly. Robert Johnson's distorted vision of what African-American youth needed to see. It made weed pop that coochie. So later on, we could see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. So we could relax and spend time feeling on your booty. Cute. And cute had catchlines and phrases like, it ain't no fun if your homies can't have none. If your homies can't have none. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, visit us on www.myspace.com/UCOF, or you can visit our video site at www.youtube.com//UCOFW. And can you give us that address again one more time?
www.myspace.ilovegabby70.com.
All right, this is Senica Harris. We're signing out.